based environment. Typical AI models tend to drift from their original intent, as new data influences changes in the algorithm. Scaglierini says the rules of symbolic AI resist drift, so models can be created much faster and with far less data to begin with, and then require less retraining once they enter production environments. Because they are bound by rules, however, symbolic algorithms cannot improve themselves over time, which is, after all, one of the key value propositions that AI brings to the table, says Jans Osman, CEO of knowledge graph solutions provider Franz Incorporated. This is why symbolic AI is being integrated into ML, DL, and other forms of rules-free AI to create hybrid environments that provide the best of both worlds, for example, full machine intelligence with logic-based brains that improve with each application. This, in turn, enables AI to be trained using multiple techniques, including semantic inferencing and both supervised and unsupervised learning, which will ultimately create AI systems that can reason, learn, and engage in natural language question and answer interactions with humans. Already, this technology is finding its way into such complex tasks as fraud analysis, supply chain optimization, and sociological research. This creates a crucial turning point for the enterprise, says Analytics Week's Jelani Harper. Data fabric developers like Stardog are working to combine both logical and statistical AI to analyze categorical data, that is, data that has been categorized in order of importance to the enterprise. Symbolic AI plays the crucial role of interpreting the rules governing this data, and making a reasoned determination of its accuracy. Ultimately, this will allow organizations to apply multiple forms of AI to solve virtually any and all situations it faces in the digital realm, essentially using one AI to overcome the deficiencies of another. For organizations looking forward to the day they can interact with AI just like a person, symbolic AI is how it will happen, says tech journalist Surya Madula. After all, we humans developed reason by first learning the rules of how things interrelate, then applying those rules to other situations, pretty much the way symbolic AI is trained. Integrating this form of cognitive reasoning within deep neural networks creates what researchers are calling neurosymbolic AI, which will learn and mature using the same basic rules-oriented framework that we do. While this may be unnerving to some, it must be remembered that symbolic AI still only works with numbers, just in a different way. By creating a more human-like thinking machine, organizations will be able to democratize the technology across the workforce, so it can be applied to the real-world situations we face every day. When Jason Rubin joined Oculus VR in 2014, he was handed a copy of Ready Player One, one of the books that helped define the metaverse. As he was hired, Facebook acquired Oculus and he started to have some deep conversations about the metaverse, the universe of virtual worlds that are all interconnected, like in novels such as Snow Crash and Ready Player One. For years, the metaverse strategy meant that the company was focused on virtual reality games. It has also been developing technology for augmented reality glasses, and when Rubin spoke to us a year ago, he was head of 2D games and cloud game streaming. But after Facebook renamed itself Meta in October, and CEO Mark Zuckerberg outlined the company's ambitions to build the metaverse, with investments of more than $10 billion a year, Rubin emerged as the vice president of Meta Content. My role has changed now and I am really focused on the VR side of things, and the metaverse side of things, he said in a fireside chat today with me at GamesBeat and Facebook Gaming Summit. This is quite a long road. I think probably you'd want to ask Mark himself where he started getting seriously interested in AI. But I can tell you for the entire career I've had at Meta, it has been ingrained in our future, Rubin said. The metaverse used to be on the back burner. In the past, immediate goals like getting content ready for the Samsung Gear VR mobile virtual reality device could easily take precedence. Then Rubin had to commission 30 different games and apps for the launch of the Oculus Rift. By and large, that succeeded, and the Meta Quest 2 is now the top-selling VR headset for virtual reality. In the meantime, the company also spread out from games and was working on social VR, with applications like socializing and working in mind. They started thinking into the future on how we would ladder up into the metaverse. And I think what's changed recently is that all of the things needed to make the metaverse happen, not only at Facebook, But I think why in the wider community around the world have suddenly started to happen, Rubin said. We didn't know cryptocurrency would become what it was, but there are interesting things going on there. We didn't know VR would be as successful as it has been. We had a fantastic holiday season this year. But that has happened. He added, we didn't certainly know that something like Roblox would be where it was, or Fortnite for that matter when Oculus was acquired, would be where it is, but the world has slowly but surely over this period of time been spending more time together in 3D social spaces. Then, you have orthogonally everybody kind of going crazy over NFTs as the on-ramp to the metaverse. But Rubin said that the onset of the pandemic, which forced people to work from home, is bringing the metaverse to the front burner. He said it would be much better to do virtual events inside the metaverse, rather than just on video calls, while we can't do them safely in person. I think all of these things have come together to say now's the time, Rubin said. The world is headed towards the metaverse and Facebook wants to be part of that. So with the rebranding and everything else, we're very serious about this. This is what we think the future is. He pointed out that collaboration will be necessary because the metaverse is not going to be built by one company. The metaverse is going to be this thing that you do, moving back and forth between identities and back and forth between various interesting 3D social spaces. Having the power of Facebook behind it is like having the power of Facebook making VR happen. It took Facebook a lot of time and energy to get it to happen. And it's now happening. This, again, has been a fantastic holiday. I think that's necessary to help the industry move forward. At the same time, I think the metaverse industry is being moved forward by other companies and by individuals at home who are going to end up creating a lot of the content that we end up using and loving, monetizing it and ending up being large businesses. He said that Facebook would work with other large companies as well as individuals who are going to be contributing to the metaverse. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the healthcare industry by assisting doctors during surgeries, diagnosis and clinical trials. The healthcare sector is leveraging a myriad applications of artificial intelligence in healthcare to save more lives during the COVID-19 pandemic. AI is reaching a level where doctors can rely on it for treating their patients without a trace of worry. Artificial intelligence is no longer a technology of the distant future. It is all around us. Many different industries are using smart machines to help ease the burden of manual labor, and AI is paving the way for forward-looking technology like self-driving cars and autonomous drones. Artificial intelligence is now establishing itself as a key player in the fight against coronavirus. Health and well-being are accorded a lot of importance in all our lives. No stone is, therefore, left unturned when it comes to improvisations in the field of healthcare. AI is an advanced technology that has delivered umpteen applications in the healthcare industry. Earlier, doctors followed a reactive approach. Only upon the confirmation of symptoms for a disease, doctors would treat their patients. But now, with AI in healthcare, medical professionals and researchers are developing a proactive approach where patients are being offered personalized care much before an issue may crop up. However, AI in healthcare is not a new thing today. The use of virtual assistants, precise diagnosis of dreadful diseases, and assistance of chatbots have been around in the healthcare industry for quite some time now. However, as the power of AI is only increasing over time, you will be shocked to know that the new and sophisticated applications of AI are about to change the way doctors administer patient care. Medical professionals and experts have found numerous opportunities in the healthcare sector, where they can implement AI to impact doctors and patients positively. So, where does AI stand in the healthcare industry today? Here's an example to give you a quick idea. Recent research from Allied Market says that artificial intelligence in the healthcare market is expected to reach $22,790 million by 2023, globally. This is the power of AI. Significant development has been made by AI in the field of robotics and drones. In fact, robotics is one of the most exciting applications of AI. Imagine your parents are unwell and they are home alone. Now, you need not worry because AI is here to help you. Robots can be your parents' nurse and assist them with the required medications in the correct dosages, right on time. Next come the drones. The use of drones is being witnessed across industries today, and the healthcare industry is no exception. During natural calamities or similar situations of crisis, drones can offer medical assistance to several lives in the quickest way possible. What is new in the realm of AI for the healthcare industry? Well, now doctors can trust AI to treat their patients, and we can say that doctors will soon be seen taking the back seat. 3D printing is one of the emerging applications of AI. The technology helps doctors understand human anatomy appropriately, allowing them to identify the occurrence of any disease. Besides, dentists can create customized dental models for their patients according to their need. 3D printing will also enable doctors to print medicines for their patients. AI imaging devices are getting more sophisticated than ever before, thereby offering better diagnosis. XDR, AI imaging device, can now help doctors diagnose retinopathy in people with diabetes without involving physicians. It's not just in the medical field that artificial intelligence is taking over human input. But e-commerce is especially susceptible to AI disruption, as learning technologies and algorithms are currently transforming the way we buy and sell goods online. Not only can AI perform the tasks we previously did manually, but it can also optimize the customer experience and provide retailers with the information they need to make an informed business decision. The introduction of artificial intelligence copywriting is revolutionizing the way brands create their sales copy. AI writing tools can generate marketing copy within seconds. Instead of hiring copywriters or ad agencies to write headlines, blog intros, or product descriptions, brands are now able to use AI software. These tools can offer digital ad copy, social media content, and other e-commerce copy using advanced AI language models. One of the benefits of shopping in a physical store is the presence of an employee or assistant who can help you navigate the store and find what you're looking for. While e-commerce has always had customer service representatives who can offer phone support, it wasn't until recently that AI helped fill in the gap to provide customers with immediate assistance. The use of chatbots and other virtual assistants is increasing among e-commerce retailers, providing 24/7 support to all their online customers. These chatbots can interpret voice-based interactions with online shoppers through natural language processing, and provide personalized offers to customers. They're also continuously improving, as they're programmed with self-learning capabilities that better equip them to address customer needs. AI is also incredibly adept at providing a personalized experience to customers through accurate product recommendations and advertising. AI algorithms will sift through enormous datasets to retrieve actionable insights into customer behavior that will help them better predict exactly what a customer needs, when they need it. They can use the information from your shopping history to suggest products that align with what you're searching for. For example, if you've recently searched for sponges on Amazon, the AI algorithms will recommend other related cleaning products on your page. This AI technology can even be used across platforms such as websites, email, and even mobile apps. By helping you create localized content to fit your audience, or multiple audiences, and AI can help you give your customers a more enjoyable and streamlined experience. Personalization is the key to a pleasant customer journey, which is why so much e-commerce advertising is now using artificial intelligence algorithms. Another area of e-commerce where AI's predictive analytics are reshaping the terrain is in the context of inventory management. Storage facilities don't have the space or the money to always keep everything in stock, which is why it's important to prioritize the products you need, when you need them. Inventory must be kept up to date, stored properly, and ordered ahead of time, based on predictions of customer demand. AI technology uses predictive analysis to make estimates about what future demands in the market will look like. With the use of machine learning, this AI technology becomes better and better at accurately predicting what inventory you need to order, and how much of it you should always have on hand. These AI systems can anticipate quick changes in demand, conduct preventive maintenance for your technology, and even automate certain packing procedures to increase efficiency. E-commerce brands are increasingly turning to artificial intelligence to improve their analytical insights, create a more personalized customer experience, and increase their competitiveness. As the market for AI in e-commerce continues to grow, Any brand not investing in its potential will be left in the dust. Today, there is innumerable data continuously generated, and it all needs to be processed and organized in some way. AI is important because it enables human capabilities, perception, reasoning, understanding, planning, and communication to be undertaken by software increasingly effectively, efficiently, and at lower costs. The main point of artificial intelligence is that the hard work of humans is reduced, and the efficiency of doing a task has increased. So guys, I hope this gives you a good insight into how and why we are using artificial intelligence to better humanity. Thanks for watching guys, please be sure to leave some feedback in the comments, and hit subscribe for more. OpenAI has bypassed its own GPT-3 for something called Instruct GPT, and for right reason. OpenAI has trained language models that are much better at following user intentions than GPT-3. The Instruct GPT models are trained with humans in the loop, and are deployed as the default language models on the OpenAI API. The team claims to have made them more truthful and less toxic by using techniques developed through alignment research. The OpenAI API is powered by GPT-3 language models that can perform natural language tasks using carefully engineered text prompts. But these models sometimes generate outputs that are untruthful, toxic, or reflect harmful sentiments. To make the models safer, helpful, and aligned, OpenAI used reinforcement learning from human feedback to fine-tune GPT-3. This has made the resulting Instruct GPT models much better at following instructions than GPT-3. Instruct GPT models have been in beta on the API for more than a year. This is the first time that OpenAI has applied their alignment research to their product. Compared to GPT-3, Instruct GPT produces fewer imitative falsehoods and are less toxic, according to real toxicity prompts. The team also conducted human evaluations on their API prompt distribution, and found that Instruct GPT makes up facts, hallucinates less often, and generates more appropriate outputs. According to OpenAI, Instruct GPT unlocks the capabilities GPT-3 already had, but were difficult to elicit through prompt engineering alone. This is because the training procedure has a limited ability to teach the model new capabilities relative to what is learned during pre-training, since it uses less than 2% of the compute and data relative to model pre-training, according to their official blog. OpenAI team also warned that, despite making significant progress, the Instruct GPT models are far from fully aligned or fully safe and still generate toxic or biased outputs, make up facts, and generate sexual and violent content without explicit prompting. But the safety of a machine learning system depends not only on the behavior of the underlying models, but also on how these models are deployed. Language is the cornerstone of human intelligence. The emergence of language was the most important intellectual development in our species' history. It is through language that we formulate thoughts and communicate them to one another. Language enables us to reason abstractly, to develop complex ideas about what the world is and could be, and to build on these ideas across generations and geographies. Almost nothing about modern civilization would be possible without language. Building machines that can understand language has, thus, been a central goal of the field of artificial intelligence dating back to its earliest days. This week in AI, DeepMind detailed a new code-generating system, AlphaCode, that it claims is competitive with top human programmers. Supermarket chains in the UK announced that they'd begin testing automatic age verification systems to estimate customers' ages when buying alcohol. And Eleuther AI, a research group focused on open-sourcing highly capable AI systems, released GPT-NeX-20b, a language model that's among the largest of its kind. AlphaCode is one of the more sophisticated examples of machine programming, or tools that automate software development and maintenance processes. DeepMind claims that it can write competition-level code, achieving an average ranking within the top 54.3% across 10 recent contests on the programming challenge platform Codeforces. Creating business value using no-code prediction and forecasting technology, data stories from enterprise executives at the forefront of AI. The applications of machine programming are vast in scope, thus explaining why there's enthusiasm around it. According to a study from the University of Cambridge, at least half of developers' efforts are spent debugging, which costs the software industry an estimated $312 billion per year. Even migrating a codebase to a more efficient language can command a princely sum. For example, the Commonwealth Bank of Australia spent around $750 million over the course of 5 years to convert its platform from COBOL to Java. AI-powered code generation tools like AlphaCode promise to cut development costs while allowing coders to focus on creative, less repetitive tasks. But AlphaCode isn't flawless. Besides being expensive to maintain, it doesn't always produce code that's correct and could, if similar systems are any indication, contain problematic bias. However, if it's ever made available publicly, malicious actors could misuse it to create malware, bypass programming tests, and fool cybersecurity researchers. OpenAI has developed WebGPT, an AI model for long-form question answering based on GPT-3. WebGPT can use web search queries to collect supporting references for its response, and on Reddit questions its answers were preferred by human judges over the highest voted answer 69% of the time. The announcement was made on the OpenAI blog. WebGPT is a version of OpenAI's pre-trained GPT-3 natural language processing model that has been fine-tuned to use a web browser to perform search engine queries, follow links, and quote sources. The model is trained on a dataset collected from the Explain Like 5 subreddit using a combination of supervised learning and reinforcement learning incorporating human feedback, and can generate paragraph-length answers to open-ended questions on a wide range of topics. Could artificial intelligence really wipe out humanity? Many fear that artificial intelligence will be the end of humankind. And here's the truth according to experts. By now, most people around the world use some sort of AI utilizing device that is integrated into their daily lives. They use Siri to check the weather, or ask Alexa to turn off their smart lights. These are all forms of AI that many people don't realize. However, despite the widespread, and relatively harmless, use of this technology in nearly every facet of our lives, some people still seem to believe that machines could one day wipe out humanity. This apocalyptic ideal has been perpetuated through various texts and movies over the years. Even staple figures in the field of science such as Stephen Hawking and Elon Musk have been vocal about technology's threat against humanity. In 2020, Musk told the New York Times that AI would grow vastly smarter than humans and would overtake the human race by 2025, adding that things would get unstable or weird. Despite Musk's prediction, most experts in the field say humanity has nothing to worry about when it comes to AI, at least, not yet. Most AI is narrow. The fear of AI taking over has developed from the idea that machines will somehow gain consciousness and turn on their creators. In order for AI to achieve this, it would not only need to possess human-like intelligence, but it would also need to be able to predict the future or plan ahead. As it stands, AI is not capable of doing either. When prompted with the question, is AI an existential threat to humanity? Matthew O'Brien, a robotics engineer from the Georgia Institute of Technology, wrote on MetaFact, "The long-sought goal of a general AI is not on the horizon. We simply do not know how to make a general adaptable intelligence, and it's unclear how much more progress is needed to get to that point. The facts of the matter are that machines generally operate how they're programmed to, and we are a long way from developing the AC needed for this takeover to even be feasible. At present, most of the AI technology utilized by machines is considered narrow or weak, meaning it can only apply its knowledge towards one or a few tasks. Machine learning and AI systems are a long way from cracking the hard problem of consciousness, and being able to generate their own goals contrary to their programming." George Montañez, a data scientist at Microsoft, wrote under the same MetaFact thread. AI could help us to better understand ourselves. Some experts even go as far as to say that not only is AI not a threat to mankind, but could help us to better understand ourselves. Thanks to AI and robotics today, we are in the position to simulate in robots, and colonies of robots, the theories related with consciousness, emotions, intelligence, ethics, and compare them on a scientific base, said Antonio Cella, a professor in robotics at the University of Palermo. So we can use AI and robotics to understand ourselves better. In summary, I think AI is not a threat but an opportunity to become better humans by better knowing ourselves, he added. AI does have risks. That said, it is clear that AI, and any technology, could pose a risk to humans. Some of these risks include overoptimization, weaponization, and ecological collapse? According to Ben Nye, the director of learning sciences at the University of Southern California, Institute for Creative Technologies. If the AI is explicitly designed to kill or destabilize nations, accidental or test releases of a weaponized, viral AI could easily be one of the next significant Manhattan Project scenarios, he stated on MetaFact. We are already seeing smarter virus-based attacks by state-sponsored actors, which is most assuredly how this starts, Nye added. The question of what humanity really is and what being human really means is one that still remains unanswered. As we try to understand and dig deeper into what being human really means, it is also important to try to comprehend where humanity stands in the era of artificial intelligence. With technologies like AI taking the world by storm, the digital world is significantly impacting the way we work and live. And while the extent of this impact is still unclear, we are already witnessing the advantages and disadvantages that advanced technologies are introducing. When talking about the mental health crisis the whole world is facing, AI has become a huge asset in detecting mental disorders and helping people maintain their mental well-being. Which comes to show that AI can help increase the abilities of mental health professionals in dealing with patients. In fact, AI can help prioritize patients so that experts can attend to those at a higher risk. With that being said, AI cannot replace the human connection and empathy that is needed in the mental health sector, but what it can do is improve our readiness and capabilities in dealing with mental disorders. The mental health sector is not the only place AI has proven to be helpful. Leading companies have also started turning to AI to help detect diseases such as cancer, and monitor the heart rate of patients at risk of heart diseases. AI is also considered to be a breakthrough for people with disabilities, as it can help them carry out daily tasks in an easier manner. One example is how visually impaired people can now use voice-assisted AI to better communicate with others. The world of human trafficking is expanding continuously, and we need all the help we can get to help protect those at risk. By leveraging AI, authorities can keep track of the images used in online advertisements and know if any alarming activities are going on. In addition, AI tools can also be used to identify those who are at higher risk and signal authorities before the crime takes place. With a large amount of data that AI is fed, sexual harassment can now be further combated. By monitoring internal communications in chats and emails within an organization, AI tools will help detect any form of sexual harassment taking place via digital communication. This is a great stride towards battling workplace harassment. Not only that, but by using AI to carry out repetitive tasks that might be dangerous, we are actually protecting humans and maintaining their well-being. In reality, when AI is looked at as an opportunity to do good and help prioritize humans, it can create wonders for humanity. When AI is used to take over less important tasks, humans are given the space to focus on more humanitarian goals and do good. As a result, it is pivotal that investments are made to help utilize AI for the good of humanity. But does that mean AI does not pose a threat to humanity? Some might argue that AI will ultimately take away from our humanity when it replaces humans in certain positions, but that does not have to be true. In reality, the world still needs many years for conscious AI, which is when machines will be able to experience the world the way humans do, to pass any kind of consciousness test. Nevertheless, it is also crucial to highlight the risks that come with the increased use of technologies like AI. One of the most spoken about threats that people fear is the idea that AI will result in job loss. And while that is true, it is also important to note that AI will also introduce many other jobs. However, while this threat can be debatable, there are ones that have much more dangerous repercussions. For instance, the availability of abundant data might be misused by people in power to gain money. Another key point is that those building the AI algorithms have the power of building ones that are biased, and thus resulting in biased machines that are negatively affecting humanity. Not only that, but the advanced things that AI can do can also pose a threat to our security. The same way technology was previously misused and viruses were created, there will be people who will want to misuse AI.